Hi parents, it's Laura, and I just wanted to connect with you all today because our country is going through so much upheaval right now and so much injustice and oppression that African Americans have been telling people for years has been going on is coming more to the surface, and more white people are acknowledging it. So I want to say today, Black Lives Matter. And if you're like me, you're wondering how to talk about these things with your kids. And some years ago, when I was recruiting at a different church for Sunday school, a mom told me, I don't think I could teach Sunday school. I don't know how to teach my kids. I don't think I could do that. And I respected her choice to not teach, but I also reassured her that she teaches them every day. Everything that you do and say with your kids is teaching them, and I know that you all have the capability to impart so much goodness and wisdom to your kids at home through your actions and through your words, as you teach them to follow Jesus and you teach them to be good citizens and good family members, good community members. So I wanted to remind you of that. You are able to teach your kids right from wrong. You are more than empowered by God through the Holy Spirit to share the love of Jesus with them in your words and your actions so that they can share that with others. And a lot of that does have to do with examining our own internalized presuppositions about people, our own racism in many cases, especially as white people. And that's something that we need to dig down deep and examine within ourselves. So I've put a few links to resources at the bottom of this video for you to check out, and they're specifically for talking about racism and injustice with your kids. And a lot of those are directed at kids who are white. It's a different conversation if you're talking to kids who aren't white. And so I wanted to offer some resources. And I also wanted to leave you with some thoughts from Amos. Amos is one of my favorite books in the Old Testament. And it's heavy with oppression and injustice, and Amos the prophet is calling that out. So in chapter 5, there are a lot of striking verses. It's a striking lament against the oppression that's happening in the kingdom at that time. And if you look at verse 23 and 24, those are verses that are often brought up when we're talking about these things. And I'll just read them for you. God says, "Take away the noise of your songs. To the melody of your harps I will not listen. But let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." So in the context of our times right now, as I read that, I think if we continue to live as we have in our comfortable status quo where our lives are fine, white people are generally not affected by so much of this, and it's really easy to close it out and shut it off. We don't have to think about it. If we continue to live like that, are we really following Jesus? Take away the noise of your songs. So they're talking about worship songs in the temple, the place of worship. So is our worship true worship if it's not encompassing real love for our neighbors? And then verse 24, "But let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." And I think that work really begins within ourselves and in our families, talking about the history of what our country has done to African Americans and so many other people groups also. And that's a huge conversation. I'll be praying for you as you talk about those things with your kids. And I hope you'll be praying for me as I talk about that with my kid, because it's something that we're all discussing right now. And it's definitely something that we need Jesus' love and guidance in, because it's hard. It's hard conversations. Let me know if you guys have specific prayer requests. Email me or call me. And I would love to pray for you and talk with you. Hope you all are doing well. And I do miss you all.